channel. If you're new, my name's Andrea and I love the Pilates method of exercise. My channel is all about digging deep into the traditional exercises and getting the most out of them, whether you're a teacher or an enthusiast. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Today I have a little bit more than what I like to call a meat and potatoes reformer. This is maybe like a meat, potatoes, and a couple side dishes sort of reformer. This one is especially for my dear client, Catherine. Catherine has just gotten a reformer for her studio room in her home, and she got the same reformer I have, actually, the Balanced Body Contrology Reformer. So that's what I'll be working on today. And if you've been through a Pilates training program, this is somewhere between your fundamental or basic exercises on the way to all of your intermediate exercises. So we'll visit a few things in their preliminary stages, and it'll be kind of a not too fast, not too slow pace that's appropriate for someone who's kind of knows their order, and good job, Catherine, knows their order and is working towards more proficiency in the exercises. And I'll be making a few adjustments that we've been doing in our lessons, Catherine and I, and also are good for me to do as well, that I don't often visit. So, and I'll just ask if you'd like to hear more about the Contrology Reformer from Balanced Body, if you're curious about that apparatus and would love to see a video about it, do hit me up in the comments below and let me know about it, and I'm happy to make a video. And you know me, now there's a little too much chatting. I'm going to put my hair away and we'll get started. So I'm going to start on 3 springs, and my 3 springs are going to be organized so that 1 spring is off in the middle. So there's a total of 4, and I'm going to have 1 off in the middle so that they're not all on one side. I'm going to start standing, and I'm going to sit with control so that I can lie back in one motion and get ready for my footwork. I'm going to stand on my feet, and I'm going to lift my center, my bottom in and up, and I'm going to go out and return. We're going to do this 10 times. And I'm trying to really pull in and up, especially on the way closing the spring, so that that resisting action of closing the springs is filling up my center and opening up my back, warming it up as I go. Let's do one more. I'm going to call that 10. Do count at home. And now to the arches. 2, 3, 4, 5, and really I'm going out only to come back in again. This is number 8, 9, and 10. And so to change your footwork position, try to pick up your feet together and put them where they go, so that you're looking to just get everything right where it's supposed to go in a very efficient way. 5 more. Being on the heels kind of creates a special relationship with your bottom and your heels, so you may feel a little more seat engagement on this particular position. I think 1 more makes 10. And now back to where we started, on the balls of our feet in a little bit of a V. Gather yourself and stay really lifted away from your feet as you draw them down and lift them up. Keep the weight of your body on the balls of your feet so you're never dropping down. And as you keep lifting and stretching your heels down, if you're used to dropping down and feeling kind of an indulgent calf stretch, you might not feel the same exact stretch, but know that the choreography is the same and is giving you the same benefit, but you're just using lift as well. I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to call that 10. And then I'm going to stay lifted with my heels, pull my stomach in, and come back in again. So now, using my stomach, I'm going to take the foot bar down. I'm going to take my handles and scoot a little bit away from the shoulder rests. My legs are going to start down. I'm going to do the 100. Use your lift that you just cultivated, because you need it all to help you pull those springs. And here we go. Breathe in for 5 pumps. And exhale for 5 pumps. 2. Exhale. 3, exhale. 4, exhale. 5, we're halfway there. If you keep your lift away from the strap so great, you can maybe lower your legs and stay connected to the apparatus. Two more. Last one. And then finish with control. Take your handles in one hand. Use your roll-up skills to sit up. I'm going to change to 2 springs in the middle. And I'm putting 2 in the middle because eventually I'm going to just take one of them off and it's going to be super easy when I have to go to a 1 spring exercise in just a moment. And now we're going to go set up for frog and circles. So I've got my black straps. And I'm putting the strap and the handle together. The black strap goes through both. The clip goes on the outside and I'm putting them right on the little peg for myself. And then I get to have another crack at sitting down without my hands and lying back. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm in the center as much as I can be. And then lift up your feet to the strap without dropping anything on your head. Okay. I'm going to start with frog. And I'm going to start with all of my back on the mat. And really this is an echo of our footwork exercise. So you want to pretend now that those straps are just a very less supportive foot bar. And I'm going to do 8. And this one I feel like my tendency is to be a little indulgent and go kind of slow. So I'm going to try to push the pace a little bit. It's just frog. And as I keep my hips and back all the way down on the mat, I'm going to kind of encourage even more folding at the hip. I think I have 3 more. So now I'm going to pull myself away from my feet, and now I'm going to keep that lifting action. Now it's going to be a little more complicated because I have to lift the whole way around as I stand in my straps for that circle. This is number 3. 4, 5, 6. So I'm really actively pulling into the carriage to move the leg with all of my body, not just my leg. That was 8. Let's go the other way. And that little noise of the straps is really giving me a little symmetry check. So I want to see it happen at the same time, which tells me that my circle is symmetrical instead of lopsided, and that my legs are not working unevenly. I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to call that 8. I'm going to come back in, and then I'm going to hold both wooden handles in one hand. My other hand is going to unclip both straps at the same time, I think. And then without dropping anything on my head, I'm going to get rid of the straps, put them in the wells behind me, and I'm going to take my headpiece down for the overhead. If this is an exercise that you do not do, feel free to wait for the next one. I'm still on 2 springs, and here we go. I'm going to coordinate this, and then I'm going to go back down. So we're kind of working up to the full exercise by lifting the stomach and coordinating the arms and legs moving by using the center. I'm going to do one more like that. So now with control, I'm going to add the lifting part. And I'm going to stand on the ceiling, and then I'm going to pull my stomach away from where I'm standing. And then I go back to the coordinating arms and legs. One more time. This one's a hard one to talk during. And actually, let's do 3 of the actual exercise. So You're going to go over until your hips are over your shoulders. Keep lifting your bottom like it's going to the handles. Stand in your feet, just like your frog, and pull your stomach in. And then finish with control. So now, one scoop, and everything comes up for your coordination. We're going to do 5. And you can kind of see the other exercises we've just done inherent in this one. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. Last one. So now rest your head, hang up your handles for yourself, and let's actually put the headpiece up as well. We're going to the long box, and now we're going to take off one spring. Let's get the long box. Okay, and then I'm going to get on as efficiently as I can. I'm going to grab the strap and pick up the handle to put it on the floor beside me. And then I'm going to choke up on the strap until my arm is well out in front of me at the edge of the frame and my straps are taut. So now, lift, same action, lifting the center and the bottom away from where your feet are standing, and that's going to help you push the strap as you lift yourself. And then push to go forward again. And again, so I'm lifting first so that I can cultivate all the back muscles. This is not just an arm exercise. One more time. So now I'm going to slide out to the rivet, not all the way to the end of the strap, and now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stand in my back and lift my center, and then try to do the same thing as I return. My favorite thing is to work really hard on the first part of this, and then ride the reformer home, but I encourage you to not do that. One more time. So now, take your handles both in one hand. Use your stomach so that you can step off and kind of take care of your back. Your free hand is going to add your second spring, which is basically the one you just took off earlier. And now we're going to get on for the backstroke. One handle in each hand. You can put a hand on the box. And since I have this handle, I kind of make a fist to do it, rather than like putting my hand down with like a wrist bend thing. So, hand. Foot on the frame, or if you're tall, you can reach the foot bar. Other hand, other foot. Put your sits bones right at the edge of the box, so that when you lie back, we'll see if this happens, your sit bones will be flush with the edge of the box. And we're going to do 5. If that seems like a crazy amount, take care of yourself. Do 3. So this is the sort of precise way that you learn the exercise. So now, if you're working on advancing it, the circling part will happen and you'll hold, and then you'll return and circle right again. Okay, so sitting up, we're going to go back to one spring, and we're going to begin working on the teaser sitting up instead of lying down. So sort out your handles while you can see the straps so that they're not crossed. Sit. Now for the backstroke you sat like pretty much off the box, but that's because you were lying down. For the teaser you're not going to be lying down, so you want to be kind of on the, let's say the front third of the box. Your arms will stay straight, and you're going to start either with your legs bent in like rolling like a ball, or with your legs straight down on the bar like this. Really, whichever way, when you get into the exercise, you feel like your legs are connected into you, either way works well. I'm going to try this way, because I've always done it with the bent legs, so I'm going to see how this goes. So, lift your center, because you need your butt and your stomach to help you push those straps. I'm just going to make sure that I did indeed take the spring off. Okay, so lifting up, the arms are gonna stay straight and you're gonna lift yourself to your position of the teaser. Oh, this is interesting. I never do this version, it's very hard. So now, keep your body position and lift it more as the arm goes down and use the lift to come up. We're gonna do it 3 times. And then from there, keep your lift. The carriage is gonna come in as you return your arms down by your sides. When it closes, you'll put your feet on the frame. Yeah, it's hard to talk during the teaser. So in this way, you're getting used to the hardest part of the teaser exercise, which is that you're doing it on something that's moving back and forth. So let's do one more like we just did, and then we'll finish it in a little bit, going towards how we'll progress the teaser from here. Okay, so use your lift. And then keep the lift as you lower. And you want to keep this one moving so it doesn't last forever. So now I'm lowering my arm considerably as I do this exercise. If when you lower your arm, it distorts your body and makes you fall over, then it's too much. So you'll just try to move the arms as much as you can, because the arm movement is a challenge to your body position. Okay, so now in this one, we're gonna start sitting, but we're gonna end lying down. I'll explain. This is our last one. Beware of all the exercises there are only 3 of. So we're gonna lift the center and help come up to the position. And then lift as you lower. So now, leave your handles where they are. Pull your stomach away from the tension of the spring. And as you roll down to the box, your legs can go down as well. And then when you get all the way down into the box, you can take your straps and put them in the well behind you, which might feel like very nice to throw those straps away after this exercise. Okay, so now we're going from the long box to the long stretch series. And there's a way that you can kind of hit all the things that have to change by starting at one end of the reformer. So the foot bar is what I'm going to start with first. It goes up. The spring, which is very important, so you don't get surprised, is next. And you're going to go from 1 spring to 2 springs. So I have 2 springs on in the middle. For the long stretch series, I also need a pad. And I'm going to put that on the ped piece, which is already up. And now I'm going to take this box away. And that's so that when I come back, I just have to get on. I don't have to do any more things. Okay, so let me go to the other side. So you don't have to look at my back, and also because I never get on from this side. So this will be kind of adventurous. So you're going to get on, aiming to be exactly in your plank position right away. And sometimes this part of the exercise is enough, or is the exercise. So one hand, I'm going to put one foot, I'm a little short, so I'm going to put my foot kind of toward the front edge of the pad. And then I'm going to stand on my feet and use my center so that the carriage stays still while I get on. And it moved a little bit. So I'm going to keep the carriage closed. I'm going to step off with control without making any noise. And I'm going to get on again. So hand, foot, stand on your feet and lift your stomach and come right up to your position. Okay. And then use that lift that you've been pulling away from your feet the whole time to imagine that you could lift and push the bar forward with your butt. And since you're on a moving platform, the carriage will move out. We're going to do it 5 times. And keep standing on your feet and lifting yourself to bring the carriage in. One more time. Hold the carriage in, lift your hips and put your feet for the elephant. You can either have your feet against the shoulder rests, or if you feel like that's a little spread out, you can move them a little bit forward. that same thing you just did to imagine that you're pushing the bar forward. I'm going to do 5, 2 more. So now hold the carriage in, pretend you're still standing on both legs, and take a leg away. We're going to do it 3 times. Hold the carriage in. Feel what you feel in your center when you are standing on your feet. Try not to let that go away when you take a foot away. And then take that foot in the air and step it all the way to the floor and step off. Okay, so today I'm going to do the stomach massage, but I'm going to do it in 2nd gear so that I can work on the lifting even more of my sinky back. So I'm going to grab the spring bar from the front. It's only got 2 springs on it, so that's perfectly fine to move it. I'm going to move it 1 gear backward, and then I'm going to use my block so that if the springs come in and crash, the springs won't fall off. Okay, and now, since I've given myself some space over here, I'm going to move my pad precariously close to the edge. And I'm going to sit really quite close to the edge as well. And since I'm short, and other reasons, I'm going to use this little spacer box as well for the one where my hands are back. And if you don't have this spacer box, it's nearly the same dimensions as the moon boxes or the satellite boxes from a mat, so you could also use that. I'm going to try to sit as delicately as I can without moving my pad, which I did. But as long as you're sitting on it and it's not, it doesn't matter if it's askew, as long as you are not. I wonder if that's going to bother me. Okay. So pull up on your carriage, like you could pull that mat right up into your armpits. Lift your heels, and I forgot to put any springs on. Okay, so there, I'm going to put 4 springs on. You could also start with 3. And you know what? I didn't get on very well, so I'm going to do it again. Okay, so I sit, and then as I move my feet, I kind of lift my butt up so I don't move the pad. And I find it helpful to really sit up really tall, because I kind of already want to be back here anyway. And so I put my feet on the frame to get lifted tall, and then I try to keep that as much as I can and put my feet up on the foot bar. And here we go. Out, heels down, heels up, and in. We're going to do 10. And remember way back in the footwork tendon stretch, when I said you want to keep your weight of your body on the balls of your feet? That goes for here too. This is number 6, 7, 8, 9. One more time. Take your hand down, take a spring off. Now I'm on 3. Lift yourself away from where your hands are. And the same action. Make sure that your arms are not pushing you up, but they're providing a place for you to lift up and away from. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come in, take the spring off, reach up, press out, push on the bar and lift, 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 lift like crazy all the way in. We're going to do 5. Lift. Try to keep the same rhythm as the previous 2 exercises so that this doesn't last forever. It will slow down a little bit when you add your twist, which we'll do now. Exhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe in. Try not to lean backward. Just 3 sets of twist. And then if you can, step off without using your hands. So now, the most important thing is you remember that the gear is out, so that when you go to the short box, your legs have not gotten shorter. So I'm going to take the block out first. I'm going to move the gear back to its original place, and I'm going to take the foot bar down. We're going to the short box. Let's get this out of the way. pull with me as well. Oh, and on the way back, I should have taken this down too. That's cost me valuable seconds. I like to put the pad on the front of the box, and I'm going to get my 2 straps, and I'm going to put my feet under the strap at the ankle. Okay, so let's do 5 of this first one. Again, I'm lifting everything that's up on top of the box away from where I'm standing on my feet. And thank you, Joe Pilates. Now I don't actually get to stand on anything, but you know, I'm halfway through and maybe I have a memory of that. So, I'm going to pull my stomach in as I try to stand. And then I'm going to make myself longer by pulling my stomach in as I return. I feel like the 2 exercises on this box, the first 2, are the hardest exercises in all of Pilates. 2 more. And 1 more time. Take your time on the return. Okay, so now the pole. Let's do 5 of this, the same strategy. So lift everything nice and tall, and as you go back, now you're going to lengthen everything before you come up. And keep remembering the emphasis on the up, not so much the backward. For now. 1 more. Reach down, rest the arms for a moment. Lift everything back up again. We're going to go side to side. Go up, especially with the side you're going to, so that it stays up and the opposite side can go up and over something. And center. And I like to notice if when I bend to the side, I take weight off of the opposite hip. You want to feel like you still stay seated on both hips firmly. And if you do so, you might get a nice stretch in this exercise. Take a big breath in the center. Exhale as you go over. Big breath in. Exhale as you go over. Rest the pole again. Twist. Lift up, twist, reach, grow longer to return. Up, reach, grow longer, come all the way up before you untwist. 2 more sets. One more. Whew. And if you're working on around the world, let's do that as well. It's just the twist and more twist. So lift up, twist, reach out and lengthen to change, lift even more to turn again, and lift even more to come back up. Return trip, lift, pull away from your feet. Woo! Stow the bar, and let's get ready for the tree. So I'm going to work on the tree, progressing from the sort of basic version into a little bit more of what it's going to turn into. And I'm going to do that on the last one. So first I'm going to stretch. And I'm going to try to stand on my feet as I pull myself back into position. Keep that idea of pulling yourself away from where you're standing, and then pull your stomach in more to come back up. I find the challenging part of this exercise to keep the lower body alive as it gets out of my sight and I go upside down over the box. So keep feeling like you stand, and if you're back, if you pull your stomach in, your back can touch the box. You can keep going and let your head go. Keep standing on your feet to help you pick your head back up again. Pull your stomach in like crazy, and then rise up and grab your foot. And now if that seems crazy, of course, leave it out. You can cross the leg over, hold onto the box, and stretch. And now we're going to do it all over again on the other side. Stretch 3 times. Walk out. Lift and pull yourself away from where you're standing on your feet. Pull your stomach in. Pull it in more. So I feel like I'm searching for that box behind me by pulling my stomach in hopes that I might actually touch the box. There we go. One more time. And if you don't feel the box behind you, then you're not in a position to do this next part today. Keep standing on your feet so that everything helps you come back up and pick your head up. Ooh, this is very tight today. Grab your foot, stretch for a little bit. And then take the leg across, lift up, and stretch over. So now let's take everything away. After short box comes short spinal massage. So the pad is going to go with its friend. The box and the pole are going to come back with me. And actually, I did not set up the straps beforehand, but that's an option as well. So I take a little tiny moment on the short box to do a tiny bit of tidying. And I'm going to set up my straps. So the leather strap is going to go through the handle, and it's going to rest here for me. Okay, I'm going to sit again with control and lie back. And pretty much after the short box, everything is as it should be for the short spinal massage. You have 2 springs, your headpiece is down, and I just had to set up the straps. And I'm a little more sweaty than the last time I lied down. Okay, so lift yourself to the strap. Do not pull on the straps. Part of the exercise is the ability to get into the straps without moving the carriage. Okay, so here we go. We're going to pull our stomach away from our feet just like the frog, and then lift everything off. Pull the stomach in with control to close the carriage. Keep the lift and standing in your feet as you bend, and then pull your stomach away from where your feet are standing. Keep lifting yourself so that as you roll onto the mat, you're doing it more with what is rolling onto the mat, which is your back and your stomach, and less pulling down with the legs, which may not feel great in your back. Okay, we're going to do 4 more. Hold your stomach in, press with your arms as well. Keep the lift. Keep standing in your feet and lifting yourself. Once you have your stomach on the mat, you can kind of pull your stomach in toward the mat as you come down. Because the main event is that the back rolls down onto the mat. And that will bring everything else down as a byproduct. Oh, this exercise is nice. Okay. I think this is number 3, so we're going to do 2 more. Last one. And then just take a big breath in and exhale as you bring your legs toward your chest. You're trying to keep your back all lined up on the mat. I mean, like without your hips coming off the mat. Oh. And then grab your handles and your straps. Actually, so you can just take your straps off and throw them into the well. Like, that's a perfectly way to get out of the straps. But there's actually a nice fun way to get out of the straps, which Catherine, I know you enjoy. So let's do that. So you'll kind of do another repetition but you'll sort of abort it in the middle to get rid of the straps. So use control. Pull your stomach in, lift off, and then once the carriage is closed, you're actually going to just let your legs come parallel to the floor. You're going to flex your feet, and the straps will fall off, and then you'll roll down under your own control and bring your knees into your chest. Yeah, that's pretty fun. I hadn't done that in a while. Okay, so now we're kind of at the beginning of the end. So the foot bar is going to go up for the knee stretch series. We're still on 2 springs, and I'm going to put my headpiece up because eventually I'm going to lie down for running. Okay, so let's work on the knee stretches a little bit as well as do the exercise. So the knee stretches is a lot of moving that sometimes is hard to integrate. So we're going to work on just the positions first. So I'm going to sit close to my heels, and I'm going to pull my stomach into around my back. And this is position number 1. So now, leaving my hips where they are, I'm going to lift myself up and forward away from my feet, just like I've been doing the whole workout, to change to the second position, which is the arch position. Now I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to lift myself back to round in the first position, and without going anywhere, I'm going to bring my knees up off the mat and come down. So just this action of holding yourself together is going to serve you once you start moving a lot and doing the repetitions. Okay, 2 more times. So round, position number 1. Pull yourself long into position number 2. Come back to position number 1. Bring your knees up and down. Last time. 1, 2, 1, up, and down. Okay, so now we're going to do 10 of each position. So 1, and your moment of change is going to be the transition between the exercises. So you've already learned that part. Okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Close the springs. Come down. It's hard not to yell during that exercise. Add 1 more spring. We're almost there. Lie back for your running. So here we are, back where we started. Lift yourself away from the feet and keep lifting. We're going to do 10 sets. And I know my lift, my bottom especially, likes to be a little bit red light and green light, so try to keep it working through the whole part of the exercise. Likes to drop out when you drop the heel. If you've done your 10 sets, move to the pelvic lift, about hip width apart, a little bit more than hip width apart on the arches of your feet. Use your lift and stand on your feet to lift yourself up. So again, same as footwork. Out, push on the bar, and pull the carriage in with your stomach. We're going to do 10 of this one too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep standing. Use your stomach to pull yourself to the mat. And then sit all the way up. We have 1 more exercise, and this is just the first part of the front split exercise. So we're going to do it on 2 springs, and it starts essentially in the same position that you're in for the knee stretch series. So let's put the right foot up on the bar, and you're going to try to lift yourself really tall, which is probably going to give you a very big stretch of the back leg and hip. Keep your lift, and use your lift to about an inch. Keep the carriage out with your buttock and lift yourself to close the spring, which will make a big stretch in the front of your hip and thigh. We're going to do it twice more, so just an inch out. Keep the leg still, lift yourself to close it. One more time. So now, round your back over your leg. Keep standing on your feet and stretch out. The front leg will not straighten, and resist back in. Two more. Out. Stand in that foot position on the shoulder rest. One more time. And if it's available to you, keep your lift, reach forward, kind of like you would take off if you do swan on the barrel, and just stand on your feet and lift your bottom up to your fingertips. And then you'll use control to come back down. Let's do the other side. So first, in a very lifted position, just the buttock moves the carriage out an inch, and then lift. And now round over your leg, and then stand on your feet so you push the carriage out, and then stand on your feet and pull it back in. And this is not a full split exercise, so you're not really trying to straighten the front leg, you're just really after that stretch of the back, hip, and thigh, which will prepare you for later split exercises. And now lift yourself up again. Stand on your feet as evenly as you can. Lift your buttocks up to your hands. And then come all the way back down. Okay, you made it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions about any of the exercises that I did in this video, or the manner in which I did them, let's have a conversation about it in the comments. I love what's happening there. If you want to see more videos like this and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, be notified of every time I publish a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I couldn't do this without you guys. Thank you.